So I hope everybody is there. We'll start our session, and if somebody is late, they can join us later. So I would like to know about you first, and then I'll be introducing myself as well anyway. My name is Sobia, and I'm here to teach you English, the basics for today and the introduction session, of course. We give IELTS and also the general and business English courses. But today we'll be discussing like the basic English and what we are going to do in our session. We can open the chats. We can, if somebody wants to join, they can also join, unmute yourself and give an introduction. I live here in UAE, and I've been teaching English for 4 years now. I have master's in literature, and I have taught IELTS as well. It's like an English test from British Council that mostly people do for traveling abroad or for visa processes or for taking university admissions as well. There are different ways people learn English or people do IELTS, specifically if they want to travel, mostly. But for academic purpose, people also use that. If they want to take any admission in the universities, for example, they also do that. So we have a lot of people here. I would like to know that, are you here for general English or like business communication, or if you're planning to learn English just for fun or for learning a new language, or is there any professional use of the language? So if anybody would, oh yeah, we have chat here. Hi, Said. You want to learn English to improve your career? Yeah, actually, yeah. For career, because English is universal language, not in one country, I think all over the world, everybody's career gets good access if you know the language. So yeah, we have the business communication courses as well that will help you to increase your vocabulary. And increase, you know, the way the communication skills that you will be using in the meetings, in the official presentations. So yeah, we will be doing that. We'll be covering. Welcome, Syed Mohammed Haider. So are you from India? Yeah, we are here mostly from India, right? Anybody else here would like to introduce themselves? Thank you so much. With practice, that's the only thing. We get it through a lot of practice, and by watching movies, you can do that. You can talk to people, make new friends, meet new people, and then you will be doing that. So you'll be getting it. It's just you have to be patient. You have to be consistent. So English is something, you know, people think that we'll get it like that. It's something. It's language. It's very vast. Like millions of vocabulary, a lot of grammar, a lot of like pronunciation, different words, how to do that, how to say that. So it's a lot of practice, you know, you keep on learning. It's something with time, over the years, you will be fluent in it. So yeah, anybody else? So we have Yuvraj here, architect from India. Oh, so same, Mr. Yuvraj needs to learn it to speak to the clients. The same thing I said, so if you are working in a field where you have to deal with people professionally, you have a lot of clients and stuff like that, then your first impression on another person is the way you speak. Your work may be very good, you're perfect in your work, maybe you're very good in the architecture field, but then the point comes you have to sell yourself, you have to sell your product if you're in sales, if you're in any stuff. So if your language, if you are good in your language, then I think that's the perfect way you can impress another person, and then, you know, it's easy for you to get into their minds, into their heads, and, you know, sell your business. So show Mr. Yuvraj you can learn English better way, and then it's good for you. So practice. So you can hear the mic. I can hear somebody who wants to say something. Okay, so basically, we will start our session for today. English enrichment, that's from the topic, if you understand that. Let me share my screen for you guys. The main topic is English, of course, English enrichment. That's the session here. So do you speak English? If you can read here, that means you know it, you know English. If you're here, that means you're good at it. You just want to be perfect in it. So if you have the will, if you have the motivation to do something, you can do it. If you're reading what's written on the screen, that means you have the skill to read. That means you can be perfect in, if you practice, you can be perfect in something. So it's all about practice. In our session today, we are going to talk about two things. Number one thing, how can you improve your reading, writing, listening, and speaking? English has 4 skills that we need to learn. That is reading. You have to read to get to that level of English, to be fluent in the language. Number 2 point is writing. You have to be focused in the writing. The grammar, the vocabulary, these all things matter a lot. Next thing is listening. How you can answer somebody if you're not listening to them. So of course, listening skill is very important in doing and learning a language. And the last, something very important, that's speaking. Most of the students, most of you guys are here, are basically for speaking. That's the main thing people love to learn a language for, because they want to speak, they want to talk to the people. This is the general feeling of the people. So that's what the thing we will cover. Second thing that we're going to cover is how to remember what you have learned. Basically, we learn a lot of things each day. We learn many new words. We learn different rules in the life, but there is a technique for remembering what you have already learned. That's what we're going to cover as well. So let's say, so let's start with the reading stuff. Most of you would have heard that you improve your reading skills by reading books. This is something true. Yes, we do increase our reading by reading skill by reading books. But then some of us, or some of you guys, would find it boring. You know, people don't like to read much. People don't have time to read much, or maybe they get bored easily. So I have a better solution. The main aim is to practice reading. So what we can do is, you can practice reading by having subtitles from your favorite series or any movies. You know, sometimes if you play a movie, there are subtitle options. Just turn it on. Maybe you don't have time to read the book, but maybe you have time to read those subtitles. You know, it's also reading practice. So, you know, you just have to find something that interests you. If you find reading books boring, don't read the big novels and, you know, thick books you have to finish. No, it's okay. Just read small texts, easy words, storybooks, small ones, or like play Netflix, play any favorite movie, any documentary, something if you're interested in. Just do that and go for it. Read the subtitles from it. It's best for you to practice your reading. Now, why we as a teachers tell students to practice reading? So why we tell students to practice reading is because when you read, you learn new vocabulary, you learn new words, and that in other sense, like at the end, would help you to speak to that word. So for example, you read a story and you know this person used a specific word in this situation. So if you are in that same situation, you would know, oh, I read if that person was in the situation, he used that word, so I'll be using the same word in this situation. You get it? Small words. I'm not telling you to learn like vocabulary like that. Of course, it won't work like that. But slowly, you will reach to that level of speaking. Sorry, I missed the chat. Little voice break. I'm so sorry for that. So is the voice okay now? Hopefully. Okay. So yeah, so that's what I was saying, that we need to read for many reasons, for learning new words, for practicing. Oh, okay, so if I'm in that situation, I can use that word. This is the main reason people love to read. The second thing that we will be discussing today is the listening part. Now, what is listening? There are two kinds of listening. The active listening and the passive listening. What is passive listening? Just a shortcut. For example, if I'm speaking now, and if you're a passive listener, that means I'm just speaking and maybe you're not paying fully attention, and you're just listening because you have to listen. This is, for example, it happens in meetings, in school assemblies in the mornings. People don't get more attention. Oh, I'm not involved in it, so no need to hear it. That's kind of passive listening. The active listening in learning a new language is something very, very important. What is active listening? It is a feedback that we give to the speaker. For example, I'm speaking now, and if you are active listener, then I will know it from your reactions, from the questions you would ask me, from the body language if we're doing a video session, or if you're doing like interaction, like now, if you will be chatting with me and asking me questions in the middle or saying something, that's called active listener. You are a good listener. You are an active listener. That helps the speaker to understand, oh, the other person is interested in what I'm saying. You get it. So that's how it works. That's called active listening. It shows interest to the speaker, and also it shows that yes, you are listening them, you are paying attention to them, you are interested in learning the language. That's why you're here. So always we should be an active listener. Also, it's respectful for others. You get my point. Sometimes a person is speaking, and we these days just some person is speaking in front of us and we are using our phones and not paying attention. That's disrespectful. That's not being an active listener. That's something, it's not the rules that you do. It's not etiquettes. You get it. So not only in the language, in fact, even in the life, we should be an active listener. What are the words that you can use for other person to know that you're active listener is, if other person is saying something, you use the phrases like, oh, really? Oh, wow, that's so beautiful. Or, just comment about what the person is saying. So the person knows that, yes, you made an impact on other person. Okay, if you're not using words or phrases, like I just told you, that if we are using like a video session, or if the person is standing in front of you or sitting in front of you, use your body language. How you can use your body language? Like, use your hand language. You can tell them okay, like, by hanging your shoulders, so other person knows that you are actually in it with them. If I'm missing some chats. When I see the Bollywood movies with subtitles, their English are quite different with our business English. Yes, so actually it's their first language. So what I will answer for this question is, they use slangs more. They use something that's convenient for them. For example, every country, the people would know their each other language, the slangs. That's why you may be different than the business English, because it's their first language. So they will use it quite different way than we learn as a, professional English. So the professionalism is very different than the normal day-to-day or the movie English. But still you get a lot of words, a lot of vocabulary that you can use in the professional life. Mr. Yuvraj said that there's a difference in Indian accent and American accent. Sure, every accent is different. There is Irish accent, there is British accent, there is Australian accent. all the countries, the people who live there, they have different accent, the people who born there. So it's not always about the accent. If you are interested, let's say you want to copy the Irish accent, listen to the people with Ireland, have friends with them. You will know the accent only if you will speak to a person from that country, or hear them talking, or listen to them speaking. You have to choose which accent you want to speak. It's okay. It's easy to learn an accent. For people, for example, you said Indian accent is different. Why? Because you live in India, or people who live in India, of course, they will copy the same accent that they are getting. They're listening. You understand? Our ears are connected to our tongue. Whatever we will hear, that's what we will speak. So it's not a big deal. All the accents, for me, I think it's not a big deal that you have to speak in a specific accent to be fluent. No, you can speak in your own accent and be perfect in English. It doesn't matter. So Mr. Said said that reading audiobooks. It's same thing like if you're reading audiobooks, you are listening. You are listening new words. You are listening. It's same like practicing your language. You're listening. That means you're giving signals to your mind. Okay, this is the new word I have to copy. If you're doing your work, if you love a new word vocabulary, take a pen, paper, just write it down. Use it in your daily language. That's a passive kind of listening, of course, if you're not utilizing that listening to your daily life. Take a paper, take a post-it note, write something and put it at one side. Use it later. Use in the same day in another situation. You get it? Then you will know that was helpful for you. You used a new word in your language. It's progressive for you in that day. You're welcome, Yuvraj. Any more questions you may ask? Okay. So the next thing, active listening is also kind of communication. How? Sometimes we understand what people tell us. We listen because we want to listen. We listen because we want to communicate. There are many things that you can do is, let's look at some best practices for active English. How? Physical attention. The same thing like I told you, the body language, that can be one of it. Look into the eyes. If a person is speaking to you in front of you in English, look into the eyes. That shows you are confident, you are understanding it. Give an impression. Notice the speaker's body language. Same thing. How to notice the speaker's body language? For example, if I'm speaking something, but I'm in an uncomfortable situation. So ask the speaker, are you okay? Do you want anything? Are you comfortable? So that's how speaker will say you are focusing on them, on their body language. Same thing, not doing other things when someone is speaking. The same thing I told you, that if somebody is talking to you, it's out of etiquette to use your phone or use look here and there and then not focusing on them. It's out of question. It's something that doesn't work well. Another point that we can work on in active listening is paraphrasing or restating the statement. What is paraphrasing? We in the schools, in the classrooms, we always learn paraphrase this topic, paraphrase this paragraph. What is it? To restate something or to say something in your own words. That's called paraphrasing. For example, if someone says, it's cold today, isn't it? I'm asking a question just to have communication because I want to practice language. So you have to answer. Just rephrase the sentence. Say, oh yeah, it's not warm. Or say, yeah, even I feel the cold. You understand? Just say the same words so other person will get a good impression. That's called active listening. This also shows your attention. Just repeat the words, but in another way. Use other vocabulary. Then another thing that comes in active listening, that is reflection. How do you reflect? What is the meaning of reflection? It's a word common. Reflection is something when you look in the mirror, when you look into the river, there is a river and you can see if there is a mountain, like a picture, you can just see the trees reflection in the river. Why it's good to reflect when you listen to someone? Because it will show them that you understand their feelings and you're compassionate about it. Now, what is the meaning of that? Somebody's telling you a sad story and your reaction, your face reaction is same. What will be the impression on other? You know, just show them that, you know, that hurts you, or, you know, just say a few words. If somebody said yes, oh, that's so sad, you know, the word like, oh, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, you know, just your face expression, your body language, that will give a very good impression of yours to other person. That's called reflection. It also helps you to know that what other person feels for you, or if other person taking time to talk to you. That's all just to give impression that yes, you know English, or you are learning English. You can do that with your teacher, for example, if you're learning, your mentor, your trainer. The next step in, or the last step in active listening is clarifying. That's something very, very important. Now I'm teaching you why I'm asking you to chat with me, to ask me questions, to clarify with me if you're not understanding anything, if you want more details into the topic, if you have any questions in your mind appearing, popping out any question, ask me so I can answer. You get my point. Also, to make things clear, sometimes I said something, maybe I mean another thing and you got another meaning. So ask me the question. See, we didn't understand. Can you repeat that? Or can you explain it? Can you elaborate it a little bit more? You know, you can just do that. It's interesting. For example, if someone says, I'm going home late tonight. I said to somebody, I am going home late tonight. I didn't give more details why I would go late, what time I will go late. So in the answer, if somebody's active listener can ask, so you're going to be home after 8 o'clock? That means just give a specific time. Or you can ask an open-end question. So what time are you going to be home? Or why are you going to be late? Oh, if you are going to be late, you know, you're going to miss the dinner at home. You know, you can just, it's all about communication. If you want to learn, you have to talk. You have to ask questions, a lot of questions. You will only learn anything. It's not just about language. Even if it's anything in life, if you want to learn it, question about it. So more questions, you will reach to a point to clarify your mind. So more questions, that means you will learn the details of it. So open-end questions. Open-end questions, leave the thing open. You ask a question, then he will answer, or the other person will answer. Ask another question. It will lead to a big communication. Then you will practice the communication. So these are some rules that we apply in active listening session. Okay, can you please give a few more examples of paraphrasing? Paraphrasing, sure, why not? Let's go back to the paraphrasing topic. So the paraphrasing, it's something you say or you repeat, but using your own words, using your own vocabulary. Same thing like I told you. It's cold today, or somebody said, I'm so tired today. Okay, now you want to paraphrase the same sentence. Oh, are you exhausted? You use the same thing, you use the word, another vocabulary, you used exhausted. It's same like tired. So tired is like little tired. Exhausted is something you're super tired. So you understand, you're asking what intensity of tiredness you have. Are you exhausted to like a high level, or you're just tired? You know, you are paraphrasing the sentences. You're asking another question. It's same like clarifying the situation, or reflecting, or restating the same situation, but using another vocabulary. So you have to have a lot of mostly the restating and paraphrasing is almost the same thing, but restating is saying the same thing. For example, it's cold today, isn't it? Yes, it's so cold. So you use the same word, cold. That's called restating. But paraphrasing, instead of cold, I use something like, I used it in a different way. Yeah, it's not warm. See, I used another way. My mean is the same. I mean to say, yes, it's cold, but I used another way. So it's just the use of words. Restating is saying it in your words, but using mostly the same vocab. But in paraphrasing, you can use different vocabulary. You're welcome, Shraddha. So that's how, see, like how Mr. Said or Ms. Shraddha, Mr. Yuvraj, you're asking me questions. That's called active listening. That's give me an impression that you are actively listening. You are asking me questions, and you're knowing in details that you want to know. If you will just listen and not ask the questions, maybe you will not clarify yourself. You get it? So that's the example of an active listener. So let's go to the next session. Clarifying now, like I told you. Open-end question, I will ask, I will just little bit think about open-end questions. Why do we ask more questions in listening? Is not because we want to reach to a certain goal. We don't care, for example, what time the person is going to be home. We have no issues with it. Why? Because we maybe have a new word to practice. We want to speak English. That's our main goal. We can't learn just by reading. So speaking helps us to practice a new language or skill. So it's all about practice, practice, practice. Speaking, speaking, speaking. That's it. That's the only main rule for learning language. It's not just English, any language. It's, let's say, Russian, Chinese, and any language. You have to just practice. Yes, Said, perfect. These are the questions that can't be answered within just yes or no and require that person to elaborate on their points. The same thing, that's the point we are going to make. We want the other person to say more things, so we listen more words English. Maybe we don't know that new word he will say, so we will catch it. You get it? It's like a trick. So yeah. Okay, now, do you guys hear me? Okay. Now the next step in reading and listening, after reading and listening, we can go to the writing part. Now, mostly people, like if you're doing, like some people said here, that they are here for to enhance their career or professionalism. We write emails, right? We have to present ourselves, present our business or whatever job we are doing. So the writing is very important. Why? To give an impression that not just your speaking, but your grammar and vocabulary is also good. So in writing, there are just two things that's called vocabulary and grammar. These two things are very important if you are writing something. Whether, let's say it's email. Let's say if you're working on something and you have to make a presentation where you have to use good vocabulary. How will you do that? So you have to have a vast range of vocabulary to say the same thing in a different way. For example, little example, let's say example word. We use a lot, yeah? For example, for example, for example. Why can't we just replace the example word with instance? For instance, instead of example, we can just use for instance. You get it? So that's how it works, that if we are using the same word again and again and again, it doesn't give impression that we have a vast range of vocabulary. So in one hour session, we can use, instead of example, instance, instead of and, however, like, more words. Just replace your words with new words, so it gives good impression on others. Somebody chat. Okay. You can anytime, if you want to unmute yourself and be active in the call, it's okay. I have no issues. Just you can message, and you can, if you want to ask any question, or even if you are okay with chatting or writing, I have no issues with it. Hi, Noshad. Welcome in the class. Also, I would be happy if you would like to come up and be confident in yourself. Just come up and talk to me. Introduce yourself to the group. That will how you will practice your language. You understand? That's the session is about practicing. We are sure that we have a lot of vocab, but if you want to join in the session, you're most welcome. You can introduce yourself, tell me what do you do, tell me about your work, tell me how can I can suggest you maybe some vocab that you can use in your work, in your official emails, when you're writing an official email. You're most welcome. Anybody of you? Or with chats also, I'm okay. Okay, we have here Mr. Sony. Hi. Okay, so Mr. Sony wants to, either it's Mr. Sony or Miss Sony. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. So you want to learn English in order to prepare for IELTS. IELTS, basically, most of you, if you know, and if you don't know, it's like it's an international English language testing system. It's from British Council that tests your English skill with four skills that are being tested here. Is the same thing that we're talking today: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. They test you on the basis of these 4 skills. In IELTS, you have to have a specific band to reach to those skills. So total is 9. So let's say if you're going just for visa purpose, you want to travel UK or abroad, you have to have like 6.5 to 7 band. And if you're 5.5, let's say if you're, it's all about your goal, which band you want to reach. So yes, Mrs. Sony, we will have the IELTS session as well in the details, where we will be practicing on these 4 skills: reading, writing, listening, and speaking. The same thing, you have to have, it's like a 40-minute session, let's say for reading. You have to work on it. 1 hour session for writing. You have to do that. Same. If I can suggest some books to read to improve our English, thank you. Yeah, you can have a lot of books. It depends on your liking. So let's say action books, you can go for suspense, you can go for a thriller. The book that you love to read. There are many good writers that are easy to read, not very hard vocabulary. I wouldn't suggest you to go directly to hard. Go for something you love and you're interested in it. If you love suspense, go for any suspense book. Okay, I guess sorry is a word which is commonly used. We can replace sorry with the word apologies. I apologize to you. Just use the word apology instead of sorry. Please take my apologies. Oh, I apologize for that. My apologies. Just use that word. You can use apology, apologize, just to replace the word sorry. Thanks for asking me this question, Mr. Mohammed. So like that, you're welcome. So like that, you can change your word with different words. You can change sorry with apologies. You can change, for example, to for instance. Slowly, make a change in your daily routine. You get it. If you can't learn quickly all of the things, but one by one day, after 1 week, you will know, oh, last week I learned a lot of new words. How to improve on vocabulary. I'm coming to that point in 2 minutes, Mr. Yuvraj. Just give me a few moments. We will come to that vocabulary session. So how can we improve our English by vocabulary? Just let me come back to I will ask you to learn vocabulary. I will ask you a few questions. Let me share my screen. Okay. Now what I want you all to do, I want you to write in the chat room the answers of my questions I'm going to show you now. My first question, I will come back to the point Mr. Yuvraj said about vocab. First, I want you to answer a few questions in the chat room, all of you who are attending, that what is your goal in life to learn new words or vocabulary or English? How much? How many words do you want to learn in the next year, let's say? Make up in your mind, think about it. You can think, some people might say, in my previous session, I had one session with my Arabic students. I asked them, and then, my students, they said, I want to learn 1 million new words. I want to learn 10,000 new words. So that's how it doesn't work. You have to be practically, think about it and answer, what do you think? How many words you can use in the lesson, in the 1 year? Okay, so I'm receiving chats. 100 words. Okay, 10,000. Perfect. More? Would we get more answers? 100 words. Okay, the question again, we have one for whole year. Yeah, that's a bit interesting. 365 days. So let's say 1 word each day. 5 words a day. Okay, whole year, Mr. Sony. What do you think? 1,825. Very good. Mr. Syed Mohammed Haider. Okay, more. As much as possible. Yeah, that's it. But sometimes we have to have a goal in life that helps us to reach to that. Let's say New Year resolution. People make it. So, they have it. Oh, okay, by the end of the year. Maybe sometimes we don't continue it after 2 months and we forget what New Year resolution we made. So that's what it's all about, consistency. If you go with consistency, you will reach to that level. As much as possible. Okay, perfect. So keep your answer here, and then I will go to the next question, and then we will come back to answer all the questions. My next question is, how many grammar lessons do you want to learn in the next year? Grammar is very important in learning in English. You have to know that. The tenses, present, past, future, perfect tense, simple tense, continuous tense. This is grammar. A lot of grammar, compound verbs, adjectives. 1 tip per day, inshallah. Okay, what else? 400 lessons a year. Okay. 60 lessons a year. That's okay. So I will tell you here something. The grammar is something, some part of the grammars are very easy, but some are very hard lessons. So you need to practice grammar a lot. There are a lot of grammar things that we will be covering in our sessions in the future, hopefully. These are the tense, the present, past, future, the continuous, the simple, the perfect. Okay, then there are many kinds of the articles we will be learning about, parts of speech, the metaphors, similes, poetry, writing, many things we'll be covering in it. Okay, so Mr. Neetu said 60. Okay, we'll be seeing it practically how much it works. Question number 3, how many times you want to practice speaking English in the next year? Something that's very important. Speaking. Do we have to speak daily? 4 or 5 minutes? 10 minutes? Or do we have to speak like, once a week, once a month, no issues? Okay, daily, every day with my colleagues. Perfect. Yes, you have to. If you want to learn, you have to speak it. Okay, let's move to the next questions. How many books do you want to read in the next year? Any plans? Who is interested in reading books? Who loves the idea of reading the subtitles? I would love to know, my students. 12 books. That's interesting. So you can complete 1 book a month. Okay, audiobooks is also a good idea. It improves your listening as well. Basically, audiobooks good for listening purpose. Okay, I got it. So most of you love to read. That's a good idea. But if you are like a bit you know, uninterested in reading, you can just use like subtitles one. Okay, Ms. Shraddha, like me. Perfect. Sherlock, good one. Okay, and the last question I have here, I would like to know, how many films do you wish to watch in the next year? I'm talking here about English movies specifically, or documentaries, or you know, any movie that's informative in English with the subtitles. If you're watching English movies, you have to watch it with subtitles. I will tell you why. It improves your spellings, your grammar, your pronunciation would be better. You can understand it better. Okay, as much as you can, or 300, somebody says. Perfect, I got the idea about you. I will answer about that. Now, why I asked you these questions, what point I want to make is, generally, according to one research, basically one English person, one American or British man or woman, they know 5,000 words of English. They just know it, or they know because it's their language. But they only use around 2,000 to 2,500 of all the words they know in their daily life. You don't use the words, all of the words in your daily communication, even though your language is good. For example, your first language is Hindi, let's say, in India. So you will not, of course, maybe you know a lot of Hindi words, but you don't use them in your daily life. Maybe some words you hear it first time from your parents, grandparents, you know, oh, this is Hindi word. I didn't know it because you didn't use it. Same goes with English people. Maybe there are a lot of words that are not useful in the daily language. They're not using it more. So I will tell you something very interesting is, we have to learn 2,000 new words each year. Now that sounds too much, like, oh my God, I can't do it. 2,000 words? Impossible. We can't do it. But according to the research, 2,000 words, if you really want to learn English and you're focused about it, if you will do it, and even if you reach to that, close to it, like one of the person here said 1,800 something, I think Mr. Said. So you're very close to it. That means you're focused, you're motivated about it, you want to learn it. That means you will just learn 167 words a month. You break it out. That means just 39 words a week, and coming back only 6 new words a day. Now there was a question asked, how can we do that? Basic question, how can we improve our vocabulary? Many students ask. There are many ways to improve our vocabulary that we will be discussing in the future as well. I'll give you like a very practical way that I used, and most of my students use them. And this is like a technique, very easy. You know, the sticky notes, post-it notes, the yellow small sticky notes. Write a new word, write the sentence that you can use in it, post it. Don't just write sentence, context. You will not learn vocabulary just by knowing the meaning. Maybe you will forget someday, but if you will use it in a sentence, you will not forget. You will know that which situation you have to say it. Write a new word, use dictionary. You know, in the mobile, you can download the app. There is a Merriam-Webster dictionary, sorry. This is a very good one. I have used it for my students a lot. You use that, you learn a new word, or for example, not just that, from a movie, you learn a new word. So every day you have to write some words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, let's say 6 words, or as much as you can do that. 3, it's okay. 2, it's okay. It's about your capability, no issues. You have to do 6. This is just an example, according to research. You write it on post-it notes, you post it everywhere. Like one of the guys said here that they use the audiobooks and, you know, listen it when they're working. Same thing, you can use it, post it in your in front of the fridge, post it in your kitchen, in your bedroom, living room, beside your mirror. So you're getting ready, you know, and then you can just see one word and practice it. So it's your visual practice. Everything that you see, you remember most or longer time than something you hear. So the basic practice that you can do is use post-it notes, write the new word, and Post it somewhere. Okay. The second thing, how you can learn vocabulary is another idea. Learn a new word, use it with another person. Say it. Don't just learn it and keep it with yourself. You can't do that. I will come back to my the beginning of the lesson that I told you what we will be learning. Two things we will be learning, right? This all we covered. We said that we will be covering how to remember what we have learned. So that's how we will remember when we teach our thing to another person. This sounds like you will say, how can we teach if we are not a teacher? No, that doesn't mean you have to teach, you have to pay, to take money from somebody. No, teach means you learn a new word, go to your friend, go to your sister, brother, mother, father, friend, talk to them about it. Use that word in your language. So why you will learn more about it? When you will teach that word to another person, then that person can ask you a question, then you will answer them, then same thing, that process of active listening and speaking will go on, then you will have more clarifications, then you will remember that friend this word that way. So it will stay longer time in your mind. That's how you learn vocab. For myself, if I will learn a new word, I still learn. I can learn until I will be old, like 60. So we keep on learning. So if I will also hear a new word, I will just use it direct in the same day. I will find a situation just to practice that. I will create a situation so I can use that new word. You get my point? That's what you have to do. You have to learn new word and practice it. Say it, repeat the word. That's the basic way of doing that. Practice speaking. Coming back to the speaking time. Speaking is very important. This whole session of speaking, with me speaking and you guys listening, and mashallah, too many people were active listener. They were asking me questions and I was replying. Thanks for that. But basically, I mean, the speaking was very important in our session today, and I would be happy if in the next session, if my students can also speak to me, and we can have this introductory session. How can I get 6 new useful words every single day? Sure. How you can get? We can find like I told you, anything. If we watched a movie, if we read a new book, just carry that word. If you're in a situation, if you heard somebody saying this word, new word, it's new for you. If it's new for you, you can just note it down quickly. Take a notes in your phone. We are very handy with the phones these days. No need pen or paper. Just write down in your phone, and you can just use it. With our sessions, this was the introductory session. So let's say if you enroll and we start the lessons. So we have like a perfect, I will be providing every lesson some very words, like useful words that we will be practicing with ourselves in the classroom, with your colleague or with your other classmates, and practice them. The words that you use daily, or the people who are working, you tell me your profession and I will be giving you professional vocabulary that you can use in your official work, in your emails. So every profession is different. I have some students who are doctors. I have some students who are lawyers. So my vocabulary would be different for doctors that they can use in the hospitals, nurses, lawyers. I have some salesmen or saleswomen. So I have different vocabulary for them. You get my point. So according to your profession, you tell me your profession, and I will be giving you the vocabulary that's useful for you. That you can use in your professional life, that gives good impression on others. I'll be reading chats also, so if I'm a bit away, you can get it. So yeah, that's all for the sessions. I guess we took a lot of time. If you have any questions at the end, you can just go ahead, talk to me, send me messages, ask me questions for the future. If you want to enroll for the session, just go for it. We have a lot of classes, and we have a lot of different sessions. We have IELTS, that's separate. We have business English, in which we talk about the professional language, professional vocabulary, how to write emails, how to write resume. We can have sessions on that, how to write a good cover letter. Yeah, it's the dictionary is Merriam-Webster's. It's from App Store. If you're using an Apple device, you can just find it there. And from Android also, I guess, this Google Play, you'll find it. It's a very good dictionary. You can just download it as well. And yeah, it is. What do you mean by real? So that's all for now. I would welcome you to attend. We will be hosting more webinars, of course, in the future, and we will be sending you the dates and timings. If you have any questions, you can ask. For the sessions I was telling you, is like we have spoken English sessions separately, that we just have spoken English, but it's better to go for the general English courses if you think your level is basic. We do have an assessment program. If any one of you want to learn any, to know your level of English, like if you're in basic, intermediate, or advanced, we will be providing you with the assessment level, assessment test. So I'll be sending you one, you solve it, you return it to me, and then I'll tell you your level. Then if you enroll in the course, any of the course, you can just write it down that, okay, in the beginning of the lesson, I was on this level, let's say basic, but by the end of sessions with me, you can reach to intermediate or advanced. That's what we can do. There is a poll in the screen to rate the session. If you would like to go for it, just go for it. All of you. And so everybody, you can unmute yourself and ask me any question if you have, please. That would be good. And for the classes or more details, or for our next webinars, or any topic that you would like to have me for the webinar, you can suggest and we'll be having it. So there is in chat room, the details are shared for UAE. The phone numbers, and for India, the phone numbers are shared. I am here in UAE. We give here the live sessions as well, and also the online sessions. We don't have anything specific for now. We are waiting for the approvals, then we will be telling you. Yeah, so you can go for the for the webinars next, or for getting enrolled into the classes. We have a lot of classes. We have it's not very costly. It's very affordable. Yes, how to create an effective resume. We will have a session on that. You can just enroll for the business communication courses, and you can get all the answers in there. So just good luck, everybody, and I'll see you soon. And if you have any question, any queries, you can contact to CAD International, and they will be answering you. Yeah, so Ms. Shraddha said that you want to learn for us. Yeah, perfect. We have the IELTS courses. You can join for that. You're welcome, Sony. Yeah, sure. For learning abroad, you have to get like an academic IELTS, and then you have to reach to a minimum band of 7.5 for forensic sciences. Thank you so much for all the messages. I'll be signing off. Goodbye and take care.